Deep in the forests of northern Canada, a legend has haunted humans for centuries. A creature born from desperation, hunger, and greed. It's not just a monster story, it's a warning. They call it the Wendigo. The Wendigo comes from Algonquian folklore, a collection of Indigenous peoples spread across northern Canada and the United States. For generations, elders spoke of this creature not just to frighten, but to teach. The Wendigo was a spirit of famine and isolation, a dark embodiment of human greed. Legend has it that during the coldest, harshest winters, when food was scarce and communities struggled to survive, humans sometimes turned to the unthinkable, cannibalism. Those who gave into this desperation were said to transform into Wendigos themselves, and once transformed, they were no longer human. They became impossibly tall, emaciated to the point of appearing almost skeletal, their eyes glowing with an unnatural hunger. Some stories describe the Wendigo as having antlers, twisted and gnarled like a monstrous deer, while others depict it as a skeletal humanoid, moving with supernatural speed through the trees. Its hunger is never satisfied, no matter what it eats, humans, animals, even other monsters, it is always hungry. Survivors of alleged encounters describe a dread that seeps into the very marrow of their bones, a feeling as if the creature's hunger is reaching inside them, testing their will, pushing them toward the same dark path. For the Algonquian peoples, the Wendigo was more than just a monster. It was a moral lesson. The stories warned against selfishness, greed, and isolation. They told children, do not let hunger or desire drive you to harm others. Do not abandon your community. Do not let desperation steal your humanity. To do so was to risk becoming the very thing you feared most. Even the land itself seems to carry the Wendigo's memory. In the endless forests, where snow blankets the trees and silence stretches for miles, people reported strange occurrences, tracks too large to be human, trees broken as if something enormous passed through, and the feeling of being watched when no one is there. Hunters and travellers have spoken of sudden chills, eerie whispers on the wind, or an unnatural presence that seems to follow them through the forest. And yet, there are whispers that the Wendigo's influence can reach beyond the forest. Stories persist of humans overtaken by its spirit, driven to madness and cannibalism, wandering towns and settlements long after the winter ends. Some accounts say you can see the transformation in the eyes first, a hollow, desperate stare that hints at the insatiable hunger within. Others describe people changing subtly at first, becoming distant, secretive, obsessed with food, with wealth, with power, until eventually they vanish, leaving only fear and rumour in their wake. The Wendigo is not a simple story to scare children. It is a cautionary tale that reflects the darkest corners of human nature, how desperation, isolation, and greed can strip away morality and identity, leaving only hunger and the endless search for more. And in the forests of Canada, where silence and cold dominate the landscape, the Wendigo legend remains alive, lingering in the snow, in the shadows, and in the mind of anyone who dares wander too far alone. In the remote forests of northern Canada, the Wendigo legend is not just a story, it is a warning. And for those who wander too far, it can become a reality. Take the case of Thomas Miller, a young trapper who lived on the outskirts of the Algonquin wilderness in the early 1980s. Thomas was no stranger to the cold or the isolation of the forest, but one winter he ventured deeper than usual, drawn by reports of abundant game and untouched hunting grounds. For days he sent letters home, describing the peaceful snowfall, the fresh tracks of deer, and the silence of the forest. Then the letters stopped. Weeks later, search parties were sent to find him. His cabin was empty, but the trap lines had been disturbed. Snow-covered footprints led away from the clearing, and then abruptly stopped, as if the forest itself had swallowed him. His dog, a sturdy husky, was found wandering alone, shivering, eyes wide with fear, refusing to enter the deeper woods. No one ever saw Thomas again. Stories like his are not uncommon. In the same region, families have recounted similar disappearances. A father hunting alone, a young girl exploring near the frozen river, even experienced trappers. People vanish without a trace. Sometimes belongings are left behind, a dropped lantern, a boot, a bloodstained coat, but the person? Gone. And sometimes, those who disappear are never truly gone. Hikers later report fleeting glimpses of someone, or something, moving just beyond the tree line, pale and impossibly tall, eyes glowing faintly in the moonlight, watching silently before vanishing. Some survivors speak of hearing whispers in the wind, faintly calling their names, teasing them closer to the forest depths. Others describe sudden, unbearable cold pressing against their skin, as if the forest itself is warning them, turn back or you will be next. And then there are those who claim to have glimpsed the Wendigo itself, skeletal, towering, with antlers like twisted branches, moving faster than any human could, its eyes burning with hunger that is not human, hunger that can consume your very soul. The Wendigo is patient. It does not chase recklessly. It stalks, waits, and watches. And when a person strays too far, alone, or allows their darker instincts, greed, jealousy, selfishness, to take over, it strikes. Entire towns whisper of families who have vanished, only to have the missing reappear days later, changed, hollow-eyed, quiet, distant, never quite themselves again. Some say these people carry the Wendigo's curse in their hearts, destined to wander the wilderness, craving, forever empty, and so the legend persists. Even in modern times, hikers and hunters report disappearing friends, odd footprints, strange howls echoing through the night, and glimpses of something tall moving just beyond the snow-draped trees. In the deep silence of the Canadian forest, those who venture alone are warned. The Wendigo does not sleep, it watches, and when the hunger strikes, it takes, and you may never be seen again. The Wendigo's legend never truly died. Even today, travellers and hunters speak of strange disappearances in the northern forests of Canada. Stories are whispered late at night, over campfires, or in hushed conversations, but the vanishings feel all too real to those who survive. In 2009, 4 friends ventured into a remote section of Algonquin Park. On the second night, their dog refused to sleep, growling at the edge of the tree line. Whispers drifted on the wind, calling their names. Shadows moved oddly between the trees, too fast to be human. By the third day, one of the friends, Michael, went to gather firewood and never returned. His footprints led deeper into the forest, and then stopped abruptly, as if the snow itself had swallowed him. That night, the others heard soft footsteps circling the camp, and glimpsed a towering, skeletal figure with glowing eyes before it vanished into the darkness. Disappearances like Michael's are not uncommon. Hunters vanish, children go missing, trappers never return. Sometimes those who come back are hollow-eyed, silent, forever changed. The Wendigo waits, patient and cunning, feeding on isolation, greed, and desperation. Next time you find yourself alone in the frozen forest of northern Canada, remember the legend, watch the shadows, listen to the wind, and beware the hunger that waits silently, always hungry, always watching,